Combination charts. For this, let me try live. We need to create a combination of a clustered column chart and a line chart. Let's see what we have available to us first. Let's just look at the line charts, something that you've seen probably in middle school. And from there, we'll go to the clustered column chart, and then we'll combine those two. Okay. So, as usual, I talk about the automation features of Excel. Here, Excel scanned the data points. We have 3 here, 1, 2, and 3, which form the data series. And the selection was based on the highest value found here, which was 2800. So the range of values on the y-axis, which is the value axis, is from 0 to 3500. Okay. Of course, here we would have time 0 right here, time 1, time 2, time 3, but instead of time we have the months, which is fine. What's interesting is this gap here. It's also created automatically just for your viewing pleasure, because if you remember what you've done initially when you were just shown how to do charts, probably in middle school once again, I clicked on this axis, right click, and then I want to get to this Format Axis menu. Okay, right here, Format Axis. We're not looking at the chart area or plot area. We're looking at a smaller part of the chart area, which is the axis. Okay, so you would probably see something like this. That's where the line would normally start. However, people prefer something less busy. This is considered a nicer view. So just wanted to make sure you have seen this, and once again you can format your axis by selecting them, right clicking, and then go into the selection anywhere in the drop down menu. Okay, let me close this. Okay, so we had 3 data points adjacent to each other, which made up a data series. We did not click on the series name. We can do that as well. That'll change the chart slightly. Okay, the line chart, I mean. We can have this here. As you can see, the chart title now reflects the series name. Very nice. Okay. Now we have some clusters we can see that can be formed, right, around months or around services. So if we grab this and go to cluster column chart, you see the same way that Microsoft Excel builds the chart, correct? We have the y-axis with an estimated range based on this value. That's the highest value. We have clusters drawn or built around the months, correct? We have the types of services, and the services themselves went into the legend, correct? So we also have an option of switching the clustering type with switch row/column. Now we have the data points clustering around the types of services, and the time periods are in the legend here. Okay, so we're not going to format the value axis here. There's nothing that I can think of that could be improved there. Just want to show you what we have here, specifically for this part of the chart area, right? This is the plot area, so you can just hover over the chart area and not select the individual axis, or you can click on the axis and get yourself a selection pane which will be dedicated only to the axis. Okay. Now let's do the combination chart here. So we're going to select A1, D1, hold down the control key, and select A4, D5. Then get ourselves a combo chart like this. And we now have a combination of line and column. Okay, the task calls for the total series to be represented by a line, which is exactly what we have here. Next, they're talking about secondary axis, and that's something that is worth reviewing. So right now we only have one value axis. When they say secondary, they necessarily mean value. So it will be at this particular point. There could be some more complex tasks where we can have more than one horizontal axis, but right now, for our purposes and for the purposes of the exams you'll be taking, it'll be a vertical axis over here. So as you remember, when we select the object that we're working on, in this case, this object is the chart we just created. We have our contextual tabs appearing for the commands to give us the commands that pertain just to this object. Okay, and then once we have the design sub tab visible, click on change chart type, and this is the selection option which allows you to have a second axis on your chart. You can just click on it and you'll see that for the total series we have two axes now. That's what the task calls for. So we click OK, and this is the new look of our chart. Next, a couple of relatively new types of charts that were not available in earlier editions of Excel. 2013 update had it. Okay, so we want to select A1C13 and insert the tree map chart. Based on the selection. Okay, so this is widely used now in word count analysis and all kinds of analyses that have to do with better data representation than just columns, pies, and lines. Okay, then we go to the sunburst sheet, and for the range A1 D25 we'll insert this type of chart, sunburst A1 D25. Insert sunburst. Okay, these will not be showing up on your exam, but it's good to know that they're available. These are considered the latest. In the past 20 years, I guess, they've gained a very wide acceptance, along with the box and whisker charts in the software packages like this. Here we'll be working with spark lines. Spark lines are necessarily line charts, so they only work with numbers for our purposes here. So they need to be found wherever convenient. In this case, it'll be the quick analysis menu. B3, D5, this is the quick analysis menu. We check here for spark lines, and you can see it says column sparklines. Now, when talking about the automation features in Excel, when it comes to the sparklines, they are a little bit too automated. Right now, it's good that we had an empty space there for 3 cells. The column sparklines jumped into the available space, and it's good, it's okay. But if you need to select a range of cells in which you want to insert the sparklines, this operation is a little less straightforward. So let me undo this and do it from the insert menu. Okay. Now, when this happens, it's going to be the same for us, because actually, let me just move this. I'll select this range. So we'll start with data range, which is correct, B3, D5. But for the location range, let's just move away by 1 column. And you'll see where they go. So for a more complex choice, you can just go to the Insert tab, and now you see that the contextual tab is displayed, and this is where we're going to make our selections. So we can just highlight the high point here, and you see how the color changes here. And this is the last exercise in the review of lesson 3. Click cell B2, and of course that highlights our favorite Excel object, which is sparklines. Then we have to remove the markers for the negative veils. Of course, it's values, but we are used to the typos in SimNet material. Okay, so negative points are gone, and then show the markers for just the highest values. This is the correct spelling in the sparkline group. This is the high point, so highest values are high point. And we're done with this.